This is Film Center, your number one show for real entertainment industry news. No fluff, all facts. Now, here are your anchors, Derek Johnson II and Nicholas Killian.
Hey everyone, welcome to Film Center. My name is Derek Johnson II.
I'm Nicholas Killian.
And what are we getting today, Nicholas?
Today we are talking to a very special guest. Could you please introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Coco Li. I'm currently at downtown Burbank with Derek and Nick.
Yeah! Hey. What's going on, Coco?
It's been a beautiful day after the several days of rain in LA.
Yeah.
And finally the sun came out, so...
Yeah, finally you can walk around. It's not flooding everything. Coco, as you guys know, the show was on the road. We go to different places around Los Angeles and around Burbank. What is this place called again? We're at a bakery.
I don't know what the bakery is called.
We're at a bakery. It's very delicious. It's in downtown Burbank on the corner of Olla and San Fernando. So that's all you need to know. Coco, she messaged me. She was like, this is a secret place that most people don't know about. So I guess we should keep it secret.
Yeah. Now that all the rain and everything, we haven't drowned.
Where are you from, Coco?
I'm originally made in China.
You were made in China. She was built there. She was designed in China.
And raised in China. I went to America for MFA studying since 2015.
Me and Coco went to the same film school.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we went to the same program, Disney program, before NIFA, which is such a coincidence.
Yeah, as you guys know, because I talked about my experience on Disney before, Coco was there at the DCP, the Disney College program, when I was. We just worked in different parks.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It was crazy. We're meant to meet each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
After the college program, I applied for NIFA. I went to the MFA filmmaking program. Mm-hmm. The first year was in New York campus. And it was great. And after graduation for 1 year program, I moved to Los Angeles for the second year of master.
What made you go from New York to LA? Why did you want to make that?
I think the industrial is better built in LA.
Yeah.
Also, since I started my dream in Disney, so I would love to work for Disney. That's my lifetime goal.
Yeah, to work for Disney. And you know what? You're in the right place. You're in the right place. One other thing I want to know is, you came over from China. Did you come by yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do your parents think?
Because
it has to be, interesting. Your parents, they're both Chinese. They live in China.
Yeah.
And then their kids, I'm going to go to America.
And I want to do movies.
Your parents are teachers, correct?
Yeah, they're teachers. They're both geography teachers. And at the first, they were like, are you crazy? They're like, this is on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
We can't reach you. We can't take care of. And you're going to depend on yourself, basically. So I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because this is my dream. Because I was brainwashed during the Disney program. And also, I would love to do something that's really magical, that phenomenal, that timeless, that's inspiring for a lot of kids.
Yeah.
So that's why I would love to see the world.
When did your love for production design really start? When did you know you wanted to do that?
Oh, that's during the first time we're doing the production workshop in NIFA. It was introduced, the first time production workshop that we were introduced to the position of production design, and our professor let me try that. But it was in January 2017, 7 years ago, and I fall in love with production design at the very first time.
The first time you did it?
Yeah. And then where did the idea of you wanting to come to the U.S. and work in movies, where did all of that come from? Was it just from childhood watching Disney movies, or?
It was part of it. And then I was studying filmmaking in college in Shanghai University.
Where?
In Shanghai University.
Oh, shout out to Shanghai University.
Shanghai University.
Yeah. And it was mainly focused on the directing. So I was like, I want to do directing for my lifetime career first. Then when I reached to production design, I was like, I'm actually a really bad storyteller, but I'm a good designer for the visual part.
Yeah.
What happened to the directing? You don't want to direct anymore?
I think people will have different talents for different things. Like directing really needs storytelling and also working with the cuts. That's really challenging for me. But I found my comfort zone on visualizing everything when it comes to picking up the prop and coming up with the idea, like how it looks on set.
It's quite interesting. We've had a lot of people on the show who originally they wanted to do something and then it pivoted. That's interesting because I originally was going to do costume design, and then I pivoted to writing and directing.
Yeah.
And you were like, I'm going to be a director. And you're like, oh, you know what? No, I'm going to go to the art, the art side. And Nicholas, you still act some, but now you do mostly executive producing.
What is it about production design that you just love so much?
It's like building a world. It's really magical. You translate what the writer writes and what the director says into what the real world is. It's like experiencing different lives. Like sometimes you got to do the Asian China architectural style, or sometimes you do a New York super modern international office, or sometimes you just travel back to time, sometimes you travel to the future.
It's like designing a world.
Yeah, various type of
bringing a
world.
story to life, bringing a world to life that somebody has on the paper.
Yeah.
And that's your job to do that.
So Coco, you've been around, you've done some traveling with this job, right? Yeah. How do you as a production designer, when you know, okay, because it's different when you're going to do some production design at a place that you know.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure if someone was like, oh, I want you to make this look like back home in Shanghai, you're like, oh, I know what that looks like, that'll be easy. But then if you're going to somewhere, you were in Tokyo, correct?
Oh yeah, I was.
Yeah. So how do you like, okay, cool, I'm going to design something in a completely different area.
Yeah.
How do you tackle that? How do you handle that? Or how do you visualize it? Did you do a lot of research?
That was a lot of research because we were doing a traditional Japanese house in that music video, and it's for Jinsen video game.
Yeah.
And I would say I didn't have that much experience of Japanese culture, so I was like doing a lot of research, not only me with my whole team there, and also we pick the great person from the local production design team as my art director. And
so you
from
partnered
master.
with someone local?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're doing great, giving me suggestions during the very, very early design process.
So when you're doing your design, do you do a lot of things by hand or you do it on the computer?
Mostly computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever do it by hand?
Oh yeah, we're doing sketching for the site designers to get a more detailed idea about how the site looks.
Which do you prefer, the computer or by hand?
I will prefer the computer way, which is more efficient and wider spread, and also, but there are some of the production designers in our guild doing hand drawings, which is really classical. I try that sometimes. Sometimes.
So what has been some of your favorite designs that you've done so far? You've done a whole bunch of them.
My favorite designs will be the music video I did this summer.
Yeah.
It was for one of my friends, and he's also one of the top celebrity in China. And
He's the top celebrity
He's one
in
of the top
China?
celebrities
one
in
of the
China.
top. Yeah.
One of the top.
Singers.
What does he do?
He's a singer.
He's a singer?
He's a singer.
Does he like rap? Does he sing? Or what's...
Mostly pop.
Oh, it is pop.
Yeah,
He's
mostly
like,
pop.
he's like one of the BTS guys?
That's
Korean.
different story.
Do you listen to a lot of his music?
Oh yeah, I love music.
Is he one of your favorite artists?
Yeah, he is.
You know he's not going to listen to this, right? You can say if he's really not. Like,
There are a lot of talented singers in China.
What was it about this one that you liked so much?
This music video, first of all, the song was pretty good.
Yeah.
you got a good foundation to work with.
Yeah, that's the start of the story. And also because this music video was sponsored by his company and his parents. So they're like, yeah, we have a budget. We do have a budget.
Yeah.
And then I was working on that budget, and I did something wild, like several sites, like the angel in the field, and also the devil in the middle of the water, or some on the end of the world, which is industrial futuristic.
Man, when does
So
this video come out? I gotta see this video.
Is it out yet?
It is.
It is. You gotta send us a link, and maybe our listeners can watch it too.
Sure.
But yeah.
What do you find is the most challenging thing about being a production designer?
I would say most challenging thing would be budgeting.
The
Budgeting?
budgeting?
Yeah.
What do you mean budget? Do you mean like where the money goes to or getting the money?
The money goes to.
Oh.
Because
Like spending the money and where to put it?
yeah,
what to
because
put
we
it in?
need to work, especially in commercial world, we need to work around the budget. We can't go over budget at all. We can only make compromise for something that we really want. But also at the same time, you gotta have a clear mind that like how much each of the element or construction props will cost and where do you want to put the emphasis on those things. And also it's like a lifetime lesson, like you get to know every single thing, the price of every single thing, and also it's updating all the time. It would be really helpful to have somebody experienced on budgeting who keep telling you what can you do or what you can, and also get to the experience of those budgeting.
Do you guys worry about the timeline it takes? Say you're like, okay, we're budgeted, we want to do this, but it's going to take too long. Or
Oh, yeah.
it's going to... What do you guys do when that happens?
We all know like this triangle of quality,
Yeah, quality, time.
and schedule and budget. So you can only get two of this.
You either have the money and it looks great, or
Oh,
it's
yeah.
either fast and it was
Cheap,
Fast and good.
Good.
Right,
Yeah.
You can
yeah.
choose two.
You can only choose two.
Yeah, and so it is. So you're saying it really depends on the project itself, which two you choose. Do you have some? So when you're looking for references, do you like to do like a lot of physical legwork, go see it in person, just on the internet's enough, or do you prefer to go look at your references in real life?
Due to the time sensitive of our commercial world, we always do that the reference in one day or even half a day, which
Wow.
is like
Really? That quick?
The
in
commercial world
China.
is, in China. It's commercial world. They really so there's a lot of overlap. Like you're working constantly.
Yeah.
For you got a lot of jobs. Yeah.
We once did 10 commercials in a month.
In a month?
For the team, yeah.
Commercials. Oh my gosh.
How long does it typically take to do one commercial that you... What's the timeline from start to
And this is in
finish?
China we're talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I was
so-
in China is 1 week. Like from we got the script or storyboard to the start of the shooting. But here in Hollywood it takes 2 weeks to a month.
Do you think there is a difference, like a major difference, or not really?
It is a major
Yeah.
difference.
What does the working day look like in China compared to the working day in Hollywood?
Like when you wake up
Oh,
and you're
you-
like, oh, I'm on this thing in China. What's the first thing you do?
You don't want to know.
What, is it a secret?
It's brutal.
Oh, it's a brutal schedule. You're working a lot, huh?
Yeah, it's really intensive. So in China, we work typically 16 hours a day.
Jesus.
Hours a day, and no OT for our team.
No overtime.
No
Overtime.
overtime.
So what do they
Oh
pay
my
you? Just
gosh.
8 hours?
They pay me at the flight package for
like-
shooting day.
But they pay you all at once.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
It
it's like
count
contract.
as it's a
Oh.
contract. It counts as the shooting day. Not prep day. It doesn't count. But we have a higher day rate, so that's how it works.
Do you have to be a part of a union or a guild in China too, like over here?
China is before union era.
okay.
They don't have any protections. To be honest, I would love to have it in the future, but right now they're doing whatever works the best for
Company?
the yeah.
So with your experience then, when it comes to doing stuff over here in America, do you think that there's like a best? What do you like best about working in China? And what do you like best about working here in the States?
The best of working in China is efficiency. It's like everything is not everything. A lot of things are
A lot of
made in
things are
China.
efficient? Yeah.
Yeah, they're made in China, so they're like we can easily get it, and we have like millions of choices of furniture, decor.
Because everything's made over there. Everything's like available.
Easy. Yeah, it's easy. It's cheap. And also in China, the art department is different from the prop team and construction team. So there are like 3 departments.
So the art
So
team
the-
is different.
Yeah, so we have art department
Yeah.
and we have like prop team and construction team, or we can call it prop department and construction department, and we are all separate. So the art department only taking care of the design part, like the drawings, the reference, and after it's got approved by the client, we are passing on those to the prop team and the construction team. Also, we keep in close contact with each other because we keep supervising them and also keep checking the progress.
Is there in constant communication with each other to make sure everybody is on the same page?
So
Yes.
compared to here in America, where the art department is in charge of everything.
Yeah, the art department is everything. We have construction team within the art department and also the prop team within the art department. Also, the art director is taking care of the art budget. But in China, the art budget goes to the prop team and the construction team, which means they are talking to the producer directly.
Yeah.
I need to have a clear mind on how much would it cost, but it's not my job to budgeting those to the producer. That
Right.
will avoid a lot of arguments.
Yeah.
And that's how we made our life easier and move faster from one project to another. 'Cause
Oh, do you think that should happen over here too? It should be separate?
I
You said it
think-
makes it faster.
it makes faster for our department, yes. But also there are also problems with that system.
Like miscommunication?
Like miscommunication, like over budgeting, because the art department really don't have that much idea about how it actually costs. Some of the budget may go waste.
Someone in the art department and they over there could be like, oh, I need this type of building.
Yeah.
And the construction be like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, okay. So then what do you like doing it here in Hollywood?
I think Hollywood, since it has been 100 years, it's physically and mentally healthier from my perspective.
You don't have to work 16 hours a day?
That's heaven.
There's more structure to
Yeah.
it on the back end. I hear that a
True.
lot, especially when it comes to, but that comes with time.
Yeah.
It's like you said, we were like, oh, China's like in the area where it's pre-union.
Pre-union,
Not that there's anything
yeah.
wrong with that. It's just they haven't been doing it for as long as America has.
True.
So how long do you think this world's really pretty interconnected? You know what I'm saying? It's especially more and more every day.
Yeah.
We get to talk about. If you want to talk to someone on the other side of the world, you can. And even though we're more systems over here in America, now there's this trend for things going more CGI,
Oh yeah.
which affects people like you who you're specialized in production design, right? And so now there's less production design because we want to do everything in CGI. And even though a lot of audiences like to see real stuff, what do you think about the transfer for most stuff going to CGI?
I'm open to the new technology. I think it has their good sides and also has their shortcomings.
Yeah.
With the CGI, our life is actually easier.
Yeah.
We don't have lots of works to do.
How does it make your job so much easier as a production designer?
Because some of the sites will be really challenging before CGI.
Oh, to make or build.
Yeah,
Oh.
we like in the old days in Hollywood, we need to build the mountains, as
Yeah.
you may learn from the production design supervisor.
Yeah.
Like they do huge constructions just to make it.
These giant statues or whatever.
Yes,
Yeah.
and a lot of miniatures too. The miniatures are really complicated
Yeah.
and fragile.
Yeah,
It's
they're
really
fragile.
challenging for our department too. So with CGI, those things can go easily with the computer, and also, but that CGI also involved the aesthetics from the art team.
It's true, you still have to design it.
Yeah, which means we are on the early stage of the design process, and also we have the choices to make it in CGI.
Do you find that CGI allows you to focus on other things now, other than the challenging parts that you were talking about? So, for example, some people would think that CGI would not necessarily replace a production designer, but augment the position.
The CGI actually expand our visions.
Oh, it expands your vision.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
'Cause now we.
Because it allows you to focus on things you couldn't previously before?
Yes, it said before CGI we have limitations of what we can do. But when it came out, then we can have some very wild imaginations.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the.
So how do you decide then what you want to be CGI and what you want to make in real life? How do you decide, oh, this should be CGI and this shouldn't?
It's also a conversation with the director, the producer in case of the budgeting, and also the CGI team that they all always have their own idea too.
Yeah.
And also it's also according to the material what they have in the stock for CGI. So if it is something that will close to the character or will be hand prop or be touched during the scene, we will do it in real life. Or if it is something that goes far away or something really well that consume a lot of budget, that we'll do it in CGI.
So it's really more of the background stuff that needs to be CGI compared to things that the characters need to be around and touch and things like that. Like you wouldn't CGI a tape. Probably get a tape.
Yeah.
You could make the table something else. You'd have just a regular table, but making it CGI maybe something more ornate.
Super table.
Super table that dances stuff.
Yeah.
Like the VR guest table.
Yeah, like the VR guest table from Beauty and the Beast. You ever think, what is like some of the franchises or some of the movies that you would love to do production design for?
I love the fantasy and sci-fi stuff.
Yeah?
That's my favorite.
Is there any movies or TV where you're like, oh, I would love to work for them?
Oh, recently it's Wonka.
Which one?
Wonka. Billy Wonka.
Oh, Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka,
Yeah,
Willy Wonka, sorry.
Wonka. Yes, yeah. Yeah, dude, Willy Wonka is always interesting to watch and see and stuff like that. Yeah, what parts do you think that you want to be involved in? If so, let's say we'll go back in time, we're making Willy Wonka. What part are you like, okay, this is me. I'm going to do this.
I would love to design the Wonka store.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
his
The Willy
own,
Wonka store?
Yeah, his own chocolate store. It was great.
Yeah. Do you? So when it comes to Willy Wonka, it's quite interesting because it's way different. The modern ones are way different than the one that had Johnny Depp. And it's also different than the one that had
Gene
back,
Wilder.
Yeah, Gene back in the day. So, how would you take that and redesign it for yourself? What do you think is one of the first things you would change to be like, oh, I would do this interpretation?
Wow. I would expand the candy store even more.
Oh, make it even bigger.
Make it bigger. Make it
Nice.
more playful. I can see that they are trapped kind of little by the budget.
Yeah.
So a lot of things, back to the CGI
right.
topic, a lot of things we're doing by CGI.
Yeah.
And the construction only go like the first and second level of the building. So if we really do have a budget, I would love to make it more fantasy, playful.
More of a whimsical kind of fantasy,
Like a theme.
fantastical place.
Yeah, it's more like a theme park than a candy store.
Oh, that's cool.
Now, when you say fantasy, do you mean like historical fantasy, like Game of Thrones or The
Oh, yeah.
Witcher or Lord of the Rings? Or do you mean fantasy like anime and stuff like that, like power fantasy?
I love Disney fantasy.
Magical fantasy.
Magical
Yeah,
fantasy?
Mary Poppins Returns.
Yeah.
Particular children.
Yeah.
Wonka is by one brother, but
Would you ever do something like, how would you tackle something like Tarzan? Because it's still fantasy, but it's like a jungle. Like, how do you design the woods?
How do you design the jungle?
Right,
oh, I'm
plants.
probably gonna go to Amazon for a few months before I took that
Yeah.
job.
You ever, let's say you're working on a Disney project. There's a lot of CGI that they use for a lot of their stuff too. When it comes to allocating the budget, you just said that looking at Willy Wonka's, you were like, oh, I think they had a limitation on the budget. Right?
Yeah.
What do you think should have gone to that amount? You know what I'm saying? What do you think their budget should have been for you to say, okay, I would properly be able to do it?
That's a tricky question.
Yeah.
Because really, budget is some of the topic that I'm working on.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm not really familiar with the U.S. market when it comes to, I would say $1 million.
Would you say it's easier to? Because you did say earlier that it was easier to get some stuff in China
Yeah.
than it is like here in America. But when you CGI, it's you like just make it.
Yeah.
So if you were doing Willy Wonka in China, would you have more practical stuff, or would it be the same amount of CGI?
I would love to do more practical. Because we can make it happen cheaper than CGI.
Yeah, cheaper than CGI.
Yeah, that's
What?
one.
What?
Yeah.
You serious?
CGI is really overpriced in China because it's like new technology. Like it's really common here and also in Europe.
Yeah.
But in China, it's they're making a lot of money out of it.
With CGI.
Yeah, because it's like a short resource for in the film industry.
Oh, so the Chinese film industry, it's not as popular as CGI. It's more popular to do with practicals.
True.
So practicals are cheaper then.
True. And also the CGI requires the producer have more knowledge on what they can do in CGI.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And the industry's still younger.
I think in case of Chinese producers, they got to know more about the CGI world to apply it in the commercials and film stuff.
Oh, cool.
But it's a trend.
Whenever you're doing these commercials and projects that you're doing, do you find that the practical is better than the CGI as far as the performances you get from the people in the commercial?
Yeah, some actors say that they need to be around practicals instead of CGI.
Do you think the practical is better?
I totally agree. Yeah, the practical is always better. It helps with the acting, the performance, and also it helps with the client because the client doesn't have the imagination. They're always saying that I can't imagine this. Show me the picture.
See what it looks like.
You can't show a client a green screen and telling them this is what they're gonna be.
Have you been there when actors have had to completely imagine what's going on? And is it awkward for everybody around to just make believe that something's going on?
It happens sometimes when they don't have the time to prepare the CGI drawings ahead or modeling. So sometimes I help with the director. I also do the concept drawings. I do the Photoshop of what it will look like in CGI, and the director will show that picture to the celebrity, whoever is performing there, and to tell them there is gonna be this, there's gonna be a train, there are mountains, and also sometimes we have something for reference. A combo height, like going high up.
Put someone on top of a combo and be like, okay, this thing way up here, you're scared of it. You're like,
So that will help.
What do you think as a production designer, what do you use on a day-to-day basis? What is your main tools that you use?
So first of all, for reference, we're using Pinterest the most.
Pinterest?
Yeah. We also use the app called Eagle.
Eagle?
Yeah, it's like a photo collab app where we can put our reference in stock. Because in the commercial world, there are so many projects that use like similar rooms, similar type of thing. So sometimes we pull out from our library, like a photo library that we are building as a team. And for the modeling, we do SketchUp. Same in Hollywood. We do SketchUp for modeling. We do Vary or Inkscape for rendering. And sometimes for the real location set, we do Photoshop.
Do you like to use pictures from other films sometimes, or mostly just realistic stuff?
From the films would be more helpful than the realistic stuff.
Okay.
That was from my experience. Because with the film, they has the camera angle, has the depth of field, and also it has the lightings. So it creates more closer atmosphere as you may look in the real commercial. So it will help the client to visualize what we're gonna get in the final product.
Oh, so it's like closer to what it might actually look like.
Yes.
Now, with AI being such a big thing now, is there anything that you use as a production designer? Do you use any AI tools, or do you?
I haven't tried that before for my job, but I tried for pleasure sometimes.
Yeah.
And I heard some of the production designers, they use the AI for the reference and also for the drawings.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You could put into the AI tools what you would want, or you could put in the pictures and be
type in super table. And it
super table.
Right. Coco, it's been great having you on the show. Do you have any projects that you want to possibly shout out, or where can people follow you?
My Instagram is Coco_Dream Big. It's my design account.
Yeah. And if you guys go out there, you're going to see a portfolio of I think you've done 18 billion projects now. Yeah.
You do 10 in a month.
Those brutal schedules.
Oh my gosh, she has more experience than we do in a month. She's making it takes us about a couple months to make a project. She's doing 10 a month. We gotta get up to your level, Coco.
We gotta get up to Chinese standards.
Welcome to China.
Guys, my name is Derek Johnson II.
I'm Nicholas Keller.
This is Coco Li.
And we'll see you next time.
See ya.
This has been Film Center on Comic-Con Radio. Check out our previous episodes at ComicConRadio.com. You can follow the show at Film Center News on all major social media platforms. Tune in next Wednesday for a fresh update. Until next time. This has been Film Center.
Hey, do you like anime and manga? Nick and I are big fans of the genre.
Yeah, we recently discovered a manga named Tamashi. It's written and created by Ryan McCarthy, and it recently just came out with its 10th volume.
Now, Tamashi is an isekai about a girl who gets transported to another world called the Ancient Lands. She gains mysterious powers and must fight demons and monsters to find her way home.
Check it out on Amazon, Blurb, and get a physical copy at RyanMcCarthyProductions.com.